Now we turn our attention to all things on the high school recruiting space. College football fans want to know who's going where, and every week Jordan Ham brings all of it to you in the recruiting roundup. All right, partner, U of A, Jed Fish has been on the job now less than a month. The amount of offers just in the last week of in-state players by U of A is staggering. Run us through it.
Yeah, obviously a lot of guys getting re-offered, and they're the ones you would expect over the past couple of weeks, but there are some new offers here that certainly jump out. There are two quarterbacks in particular that I think it's very wise they're getting on these guys early on. DeMond Williams Jr., we talked about him the past couple of weeks. He added an offer from Florida Atlantic and NAU last week. U of A is the first Power 5. And Central Michigan also offered him. He's over at Basha, started as a freshman, very talented, takes care of the football, and you could really see his progression throughout the past couple of weeks in the second half of that season, really what he is able to do. So he's certainly a name to watch. And then Brady Mcdonough. And every now and then, Brad, we hear about these guys at the freshman level that you should keep an eye out for. Jawar Jordan jumps out from a couple of years ago when he was at Hamilton putting up like close to 70 rushing touchdowns in a season or something ridiculous like that. But McDonough is the quarterback over at Desert Mountain. And every Wednesday night, he would post these ridiculous stat lines that he would put up, 52 touchdowns at the freshman level last year. So he's also quite the golfer, which I think is a pretty cool, you don't hear a lot, multi-sport athletes. It's not usually football and golf, but that's pretty cool. So he adds an offer from Arizona going into his sophomore year as well. So again, U of A being very wise, getting in on these quarterbacks. Elsewhere, Cole Martin adds an offer from the Wildcats, one of the top 2023 players, and cornerback, punt returner. This guy can do it all. Shaquan Bowser, the Castile outside linebacker, defensive end. He is just kind of going down the list of Pac-12 programs now, adding offers left and right. Devin Grubs, the running back from Desert Vista, had an ASU offer. He was that group coming out of their freshman year, the 2022s, that got those ASU offers. He now pairs that with an Arizona offer. 600 yards over the last 2 years. He had some injury issues this year, but he is an absolute bruiser in the backfield. And then Tyler Powell, the tight end for Brophy. Jordan Powell is handling a lot of the Arizona recruiting. He is the tight ends coach. He goes to Jason Jewell, who has a very good tight end, and offers him. And Powell is another guy that's adding a lot of big programs throughout the Pac-12. And then Victor Zayas, the linebacker for Hamilton. This is the first Power 5 offer for him. And we talk a lot when we talk about the Huskies, the usual suspects, the Nico Marchios, the Cole Martins, the Jack Howells, Grayson Stovalls. But this defense had a lot of depth on it and a lot of really good football players in that front seven. So they offered Russell Davis last week, the defensive end for Hamilton, and now they're offering Zayas as well.
Yeah, I think you're going to see Cole Martin play some wide receiver for Hamilton next year, which makes a lot of sense. I'm just hearing that that's the case. Hamilton's made a change on their offensive coordinator. Jeremy Kitamura is now going to be that guy. And I think you're going to see Cole Martin be out there and be a part of that. So maybe that changes his recruitment. Arizona State steps into the fold this week too, right?
Yeah, Miles Lockhart, who is also over at Basha, he's the same class as DeMond Williams Jr., 2023. This is a young team that Chris McDonald has, and they've been really fun the past couple of years, but now you're seeing some of that recruiting recognition certainly pay off. You thought of Micah Harper a couple of years ago, Andrew Barney this past season, now DeMond Williams Jr. and Miles Lockhart. He's a DB, gets his first offer from Arizona State, and certainly a guy to watch. You see a lot of length in his game, and he can do a little bit of everything. So it'll be cool to see as he progresses, as he grows, kind of the type of player he'll be over the next couple of years.
Before I get you out of here, anybody else you want to add?
Yeah, Kyler Casper, speaking of another young player that I'm really excited about, wide receiver over at Williamsfield. This Williamsfield team is going to be fun over the next couple of years. You have CJ Tiller at quarterback, who was quite young last year, young offensive line. They bring back two really good running backs in Caden Cloud and Isaiah Jameson. But Casper, already 6'5", had 22 receptions, 412 yards last year, and 2 touchdowns. Ben Morrison adds a big offer over at Brophy from Oklahoma, as well as Boston College. Oklahoma really has been trying to get in. They were able to get Spencer Rattler. They've been on these defensive backs the past couple of years. So they're continuing that trend with Morrison. And then Michael Masunis, tight end over at Hamilton, adds an offer from Air Force. And Jacob Moore, the offensive lineman for Boulder Creek, starting to see the recruitment pick up. This was a guy that in our pre-postseason roundtable with Jason Jewell, he talked about how does Jacob Moore not have offers? He got two, Valpo and UTEP come calling for Jacob Moore.
Good stuff there. There's Jordan Ham every week on the Recruiting Roundup.